Hi, I'm Nikki, and I am the owner of Hold Fast to Dreams, which is my personal stable's name and has been for many, many years. It's after my favorite poem by Langston Hughes. If you haven't heard it or read it, you should totally do that. Um, Hold Fast to Dreams is now located on a farm in Italy called Scuderi Cardinali. So that is the actual location of the farm. And then we also run a rescue here, which is called the Traveling Menagerie. And the rescue started when my cousin and I started traveling and is now landed here in Italy. So we will be talking about how all of these three things came to become one place, one place, one dream, one vision. So that's just a brief intro.
Yeah, so how did the traveling menagerie begin? Like, where were you when you started having the idea of it becoming a thing?
So I was located in England at the time. I was going through a divorce, and I went home to visit some family. Big surprise thing. It was pretty cool. And I asked my cousin while I was there if he'd be willing to come back to England for a couple of weeks and help me just go through the practical stuff of the divorce, moving out furniture, dealing with my ex-husband. And he was like, "Yeah, totally, I will." And so he came, and he never left. He fell in love with the life that we had in England, which is all about horses, my animals. I had five dogs, no, six dogs, and five cats, and a bunny at the time. And so we spent 6 months hanging out in England, but then the visa situation meant that we needed to either make a decision to go back to the States, or we decided that we were just going to pack up all of our animals, put them in a caravan, hit the road, and that is how the Traveling Menagerie was born.
How did you know that was the decision that you wanted to make?
Um, Neither one of us really wanted to go back to the States. I didn't have a life there really anymore, and Travis was going through some of his own personal stuff, and this just felt like the right time for both of us to take this big leap because it was definitely a big leap. We made no plans, we had no budget, we just 19 days before we left, that's when we decided we were leaving. And in that time, we bought a caravan and sorted out getting the animals and like passported and stuff. So I think it was mentally, you could kind of say it was one of those crossroads parts of life where you can either turn left or turn right. And I don't know which direction we actually turned, but we definitely turned, and it brought us here. So it was a pretty good decision, I think.
Yeah, and so when you started on the road, what was that like in the beginning with all of that?
It was really exciting and really hard because we hadn't done any planning and we didn't have any budgeting laid out. And we had six dogs and five cats and a bunny rabbit. So it was really difficult. But it was really fun. We didn't have any expectations either. We were just going with the flow. And as long as we focused on keeping the animals safe and ourselves safe, we were able to really just explore really openly. It was very eye opening, I think, for both of us. We had so much fun just hanging out together, he was my best friend, I was his, and we just really enjoyed being our own little family on the road.
So, what countries did you start in?
So we started in Denmark. We had a friend's wedding that we went to there, which was really lovely. And then we stayed with a friend's family on a dairy farm, which was very eye-opening, really great experience. And then we moved on to what we thought would be Ukraine. That's a story that we'll have to share about that. Um, we moved on. We did Poland. We did the Czech Republic. We went to Germany, Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia. We went through Serbia. We did Hungary. We went to Bulgaria. Um, we did Switzerland. We did Liechtenstein. We did Luxembourg. We did France. We did a very, very brief moment in the Netherlands. I think that was everything on the first trip.
That's just one trip.
That's just the first one. And we traveled for 8 months.
Wow. And then when did you pick up your first animal?
So we lasted 3 months. And then we were in Bosnia. We had just entered Bosnia, actually. And we were going up this mountain pass called Kovačica. And we were coming down the mountain, and there was this incredibly skinny dog that ran out into the middle of the road. And so we looked at each other and we said, we're not supposed to be rescuing any more animals because we already have 12.
I think that's like the thing you guys always say.
We say that a lot. No more animals. Absolutamente no. And
there's always more animals.
So we did stop. We picked up Kova, as she is now named after the mountain pass that she was on, and she was our very first rescue. And super funny little detail is actually she just arrived back in Italy. The family that adopted her was stationed at a military base on Italy 6 years ago, and they've been restationed here and have just arrived. So we're actually planning to go see Kova very soon. So where it started ended, yeah. So that's we can go more into Kova's story later on, but that's so cool. I think like such a a total 360 of her story, and I'm excited to see her. We haven't seen her since we adopted her out. So
that is full circle. And when you picked her up and you had that feeling, is that kind of like what ignited you thinking that you were going to continue on and live on a farm in Italy with all these animals?
No, not at all. Definitely, I think we knew once we picked up the first dog that there was no chance that we would not continue to pick up dogs or cats. Whatever came along. But the plan was really that we wanted to spend our summers in England. I had 5 horses, 7 horses at the time. 7 horses at the time back in England. And I had a job that I really, really loved. And I did have a visa, so I was allowed to work. So, hello, Bella. We were planning to do our long-term plan was kind of to do 6 months traveling through Europe and 6 months back in England. And then, if we pick some animals up on the way, these things happen.
And then how did that plan not stay the course?
Right. So fast forward to COVID, and we were on our second trip through Europe, and we basically got stuck in Bulgaria. The borders closed. Obviously, we have American passports. Many of you may remember the American passport was just useless. You couldn't go anywhere. So we had to deal with the immigration authorities. We were given 3 extensions to our visa to stay there until those finally ran out. And then with immigration's kind of tactic acknowledgement, we did overstay our visa there because where were we supposed to go? But that is kind of when the Traveling Menagerie rescue part really came into existence. We started rescuing animals. At first, we were doing it just kind of on our own. We weren't, we didn't get our nonprofit status or anything like that. It was just part of what we were doing. But then eventually we grew to a point where it was obvious that this was, hello, Benji. Yes, that this was going to be the direction that we were going in. So we did get our nonprofit status. We did set up a location in Bulgaria. I think we adopted almost 100 animals in that 2 years during that COVID lockdown. So it was kind of just natural in that sense. It was difficult. It was challenging. There are so many things that we did wrong, absolutely, because we really didn't go into it with a plan, as usual. You can tell this is a theme. But we committed to it, and once we committed to it, we committed to it fully, and we committed to the animals fully, and that has been 100% our direction ever since then. So we put the animals first. We focus on that, and no matter where life takes us, as you will learn, we bring them with us, no matter how many.
And then after Bulgaria, where did you go?
So after Bulgaria, when the borders were finally opened, immigration, came to us and said, okay, I think it's time for you to do your 90-day bounce out, because we're allowed to stay in 90 days in Bulgaria. So we went to Serbia, which is just right next door. We did take 22 dogs, I think 8 cats with us.
Growing and growing. Because you rehomed all the other ones.
We had rehomed all the other ones, yes. So we took many with us. And we fell in love with Serbia, honestly. There's a lot of story in between there that we'll get to, but we fell in love with Serbia. We really loved it. So we decided actually that we wanted to settle there. So then we shipped 10 of my horses to Serbia from Bulgaria, bearing in mind we'd already shipped 5 of my horses from England to Bulgaria. Then I gained 5 horses in Bulgaria. Oops. And so then we shipped all of the horses to Bulgaria, or to Serbia from Bulgaria. We also brought over the rest of our dogs and cats that we had left in the care of a friend, because believe it or not, there are some limits about how many animals you can travel with. No. I know, it was shocking to us too, but so we set up shop there, and you know, we had a really great experience there. We loved Serbia. We had, you know, we made friends. We made a great life there, and the plan was to stay there, was to settle there.
And then what happened?
And then I'm gonna give the short version. My family has citizenship by descent in Italy, and have been talking for a very long time about purchasing a holiday home in Italy. And the stars really aligned for us that this farm came available for sale right at the right time, theoretically at the right price point. And it just made sense to come here. It really was, it was fate. That story is so unbelievable, and I will love sharing it with you all later, but it was fate that brought us here. And so we moved here actually officially 1 year ago this Saturday.
Wow.
Yes. And we brought 45 dogs, 18 cats, 14 horses, and a goat.
It's like a trend again. But also that there's a lot of fate in this. Like, you guys are kind of just responding to where you've been guided.
Definitely. I think that one of our strengths is that we're so open to what the universe is bringing to us, and embracing that wholeheartedly. I know my parents would disagree that maybe we could do it with a little more planning.
But you're bringing on people.
But I am bringing on people. We are definitely, we're settled here. This is it. Me and my animals will die on this farm. So Italy is the last stop on this particular journey for sure. There's definitely so much more adventure, so much more journey, so much more dreams to have. But this is definitely the end point of this journey, of the traveling specifically in bulk, as I call it, moving animals around in mass. I'm sure we'll be doing lots of it on a smaller scale in the future. But yeah, we are totally, sometimes life throws you the biggest curveballs. A divorce, you know, your cousin deciding he likes England and not leaving, you know, finding an amazing friend in Bulgaria, animals that need you at the right time, that you really need more, let's be honest. No matter what we give to the animals, the animals give us back 10,000 more. There's no comparison. Absolutely no comparison. We are so lucky to be able to do what we do, and we are not the heroes. Absolutely, the animals are always the heroes of this story, of most stories. Let's be real. Anything that involves an animal, probably the animal's the hero in it. So yeah, we just feel really fortunate. We're fortunate to be here. We're fortunate to have had the life that we've had up far. We're super excited to share the whole story with everybody over time, because it's not enough for.
We're gonna go chapter by chapter, or like page by page.
Page by
Really,
page.
it'll be a long series, and so we're gonna do this every week, where we do an episode on the amazing little details of their story, of how they got here. And I think that this is a good opportunity now that we've landed here, not at the end of Traveling Menagerie, but what Traveling Menagerie birthed. And so you can kind of, from here, explain the vision now that we're on the farm, and what we're doing now, and what you're hoping to create here.
Right, absolutely. So the vision for the farm is that we want it to be a sanctuary for people and for animals. So obviously it started very much as animal focused, absolutely. And that will always be the core of who we are, because that's what brought all of us here. It's what brought my team here, but, you know, continues to bring people here. So the animals are always going to be the focus. I'm hoping that we can continue to rescue responsibly, to offer, you know, animals in need of homes, a home, you know, and a home for life, where they don't have to continually be shifted around, obviously we're always open to adoptions when it's appropriate for the animals, but you know, this is a forever home for everybody. But I also really want to create that sanctuary and that safe space for people as well. I am a sexual violence survivor, I'm a domestic violence survivor, and I have spent a lot of my adult life searching for that safe feeling. And I really want to give that back to as many people as are open to it and that are interested in it. So we're hoping to do things like wellness retreats, yoga, animal assisted therapy with adults and children. We want to do, you know, we're hoping to do some glamping, but really focused on that retreat focus of people coming and feeling safe and getting healing here. I obviously have a very near and dear to my own heart is women's trauma specifically. So I really want to host free women's retreats that we can join up with other global organizations that offer safe spaces and resources to women, and be able to be a part of that and be able to have women come here for a week or two and just breathe and most importantly,
Yeah, Benson's like, I got you here.
I got you here.
They won't get you. Yeah, so the animals have allowed you to feel incredibly safe in your healing journey, and that's going to be such a story to tell.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
when the time comes of how they've helped you and how you've found healing and how we're going to have that offered here in this space.
Definitely.
What are we doing right now on the farm? Like how with the van life and the volunteers and the team?
Right. So, Lindsay, you're actually very hungry. Better not. Let's situate you here, okay? She wants her time on camera, okay? Superstar. So, one of the first things that I did when I got here was I opened up the doors almost immediately to volunteers that share my vision and share my dream. I knew that this was not something that I could do on my own. It was always the plan to have a team, and I wanted to just reach out to the world, really, and say, look, you know, I have this dream. Who wants to join me on it? And I have been so overwhelmed by the response. We have had the most incredible people come through. We have volunteers who came for a few months and who still continue to contribute their time and their energy and their expertise from afar. We have team members that showed up and tried to leave.
My plan was to stay for like a few days, and then somehow it's been like almost 4 months, and it's the best.
Exactly. So we've had people come to stay for a few months who have stayed on permanently. It's been a really wonderful vibe. And then following on to that, obviously, part of our story is van life, caravan life, wild camping, all of those sort of finding your way type things. And so we were just so welcomed by that community when Travis and I were traveling, even with our many, many animals and our very odd situation. And so I really want to give back to that community. And so something that we launched this summer was that we offer free parking to van lifers to come and stay, no charge, no volunteer requirement, just come, park up, hang out, get a tour, meet our animals, meet our team, see our dream, and hopefully, you know, feel some of what we feel, some of that happiness and that joy. So it's all about paying it forward. You know, in life, you never get anywhere alone. You never do. It's always about what you've met along the way, whether it's an animal or people, and we want to make sure that we are paying it forward to all of the amazing people and all the amazing communities that have helped us along the way. So so that's been our big this summer project. Into next summer, we're hoping to launch some trail riding initiatives, some of the animal assisted therapy, more of the wellness stuff. You know, we've got big plans to build a little camp city. I'm so excited about that. We're always making improvements, of course, to the facilities on the farm itself. The animals just refuse to leave the fencing alone.
It's an ongoing thing.
People tell me I'm living the dream, and I think in my head, the dream was not to fix fencing every day.
One day we'll have really solid fencing.
One day we're just going to have the best fencing in the world, and we're all going to know we made it.
Yeah, that is when.
That's the moment. So yeah, that's where we are right now. You know, the kennels, we had to build kennels when we moved here, and they are built, they're beautiful. I hate them.
Why?
I hate them because because for so long we were able, we lived with our animals full time in our house, in our caravan, in at one point just a van. And I find it really difficult to be separated from them. Sorry, Benzie's decided she wants to get down. So I have a really hard time being separate. Italy's laws regarding the number of animals that you have and the facilities that you have to house them are very strict. And so we built the kennels obviously in accordance with that. I do regularly rescue my dogs from the kennels.
How many dogs are in your bedroom right now?
12. Benzie's the newest rescue from the kennels.
And Benzie goes everywhere with her. She's living her best life.
She is. But our goal eventually with the kennels is, we want to turn that into truly a haven for the dogs down there. We want to have a swimming area. We want to do an agility course. I want to have gazebos and hammocks so that volunteers can go and hang with the dogs all day and give them their best life, because many of our dogs are not adoptable for various reasons. And so if they're going to have to live in a sanctuary, we want to make it the best sanctuary in the world. So, we're planning scent trails for dogs like Benzie, who really love to hunt things, make sure she's hunting what we want her to hunt. I want a memorial garden down there. I want a really big walking trail for us to take the dogs on walks on. I just want it to be everything that you could dream about as a dog. That's just fantastic. Maybe I'll have a volleyball court for them. Wouldn't that be fun?
So many things.
So many
dog paradise.
Yes.
And so I think that this is a good way to explain why you chose Hold Fast to Dreams for the name for all of this.
Right. So the overarching company that owns the property is Hold Fast to Dreams, which is owned by my sister and I. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this is named after a poem by Langston Hughes, who's an American author, poet. And the poem is all about not settling for, the bare minimum, not accepting that it's okay to just leave it as is, if you will. It's about always following the dream. It's about flying. It's about picking your way across the hard parts and still seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And so that's what I want this place to continuously be doing, is once we've hit one dream, then we keep dreaming. I want to keep dreaming. I want to hold fast to all of the dreams. I want to hold fast to everybody's dream. So everybody that comes here has something that they dream about. How can we make that a reality for them, for the dogs, for the people, for the horses, for everybody? I just want everybody to always hold fast to their dreams. And so that's kind of, it's our name, but it is also our philosophy, I guess, is hold on to that, because you never know where life is going to take you. You asked me 10 years ago if I was going to be on a farm in Italy with over 100 animals. I would have thought you were crazy. And here I am, loving it. And I have this amazing team of people around me loving it with me. And super amazing animals named Benzie, making me very hot.
I think that that's a good place to wrap up this one. And so, like we mentioned, we're going to have these weekly where Nikki and Travis can come in too and talk about the whole story of how it was such an adventure.
Get ready, guys.
they're always telling us new stories, and I keep telling them, like, how do you still have more? Like, I thought that, like, we've reached all the crazy stories, but they're incredible. And so the world needs to know what they experienced, because they are the way that they are and so open to just, like, following what life has for them. And so it's an amazing story. I hope, and we all hope, that one day it will be a book and a series and everything, because I think that it's very, very inspirational for the animals and for humans. And so it's a super healing place, and we're super excited to share it with everybody.
Thanks so much for everybody that's supported us so far. Some of you guys have been with us since the beginning of the Traveling Menagerie. For everybody that's coming on board now, I'm so excited to share the journey in full, because I haven't been great at that, and I'm really excited to bring you guys all along for the ride. And then once you know the background, for what comes next. So make sure that you guys comment on our videos with questions, comments, because there's no way that I will remember everything unless people prompt me. So as you're watching the series, please say, like, if I say we did this, say, how the heck did you do that?
Any questions?
Any questions at all? Nothing is too crazy, trust me, because we probably experienced it and we probably figured out a way around it, or just, skirted the issue somehow. So we're really excited to share our story with you, and to hear all of you guys' feedback and questions and everything. So
if you're watching this video on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps. We've just started sharing on here, and we want to continue growing. And subscribe if you're new here, to stay up to date on all the new things coming and all the stories.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.